This is the Dollemore Daily.
Hello, and welcome to the Dollemore Daily. We're the Banks sisters. We're still filling in for Jesse as he settles into Washington, D.C. I'm Courtney.
And I'm Keisha. And today, let's just hop right back into the January 6th news. There's a tweet here that I would like to read for you, and we'll discuss. Ryan O'Toole, a Liz Cheney staffer who worked for Kevin McCarthy on January 6th and was on the House floor for the insurrection, says McCarthy did not check in on staff at all in the days following January 6th.
You were working for McCarthy at the time. I know from talking to a lot of members of Congress how worried they were not only for their own lives, but also for the lives of their staffers. What did McCarthy have to say to his staff that day and then the days after the attack?
My recollection was that he didn't engage with any of his staff. I didn't get a chance to have any sort of debrief, and my understanding is that none of the McCarthy staff were able to connect with him regarding the day's events or how to respond to them, frankly. But I'd be remiss if I didn't recount, as we're walking back from that secure room that we'd been evacuated to complete the day's business on the House floor, Speaker Pelosi and Leader Hoyer stopped our floor team, to thank us for the job that we had done, assisting members, and continuing the process and continuing the Democrat process that we were there for. And I think that demonstrates the color of the leadership that that day demanded.
I'm stunned that Leader McCarthy didn't reach out to his staff.
Stunned? To me, that just sounds like a regular boss.
No. I mean, it 100%
When
seems,
does your boss care about your well-being?
Right. My question was, does he normally talk to you guys? Like, do you guys, are you guys, you guys go to lunch together? Or, why would he ever talk to you? Not to say that that's okay, but it's typical. No?
Yeah, I do think that because it was a traumatic experience that one would hope to have some sort of compassion from your boss. But I think if there's anything that the American capitalist system has taught us is that more than likely your boss is going to ask to see you got shot in the leg. Well, can I see a note about that?
Right. Do you have a picture maybe? Or
I'm going to need to believe you.
I did see the Facebook Live of you dying, but I'm going to need you to come into work tomorrow.
Need a death certificate. I mean, it's
Thank you. I mean,
I guess I'm just not shocked by the fact that, also Republicans, the thing I can't understand about Republicans is the, brutality, the callousness, that goes along with their mentality, or just their brand, I guess. I don't think that they think that it's a part of their brand, but it obviously, if you're as an outsider looking in, it is. So I guess that's why, to me, I'm not surprised at all. I guess I would think that they would see their staff as kind of just replaceable cogs in the wheel.
I see what you're saying there. I think that they would they don't want this kind of heat out, though. You know what I mean? This was on Jake Tapper. It seemed very expose, you know what I mean? Revealing the truth about the Republican Party, you know?
But then almost I'm changing my mind in a way, wouldn't Republicans be good to their staff? Wouldn't you want to be good to your staffers because they know all your secrets? And
I guess that would be smart. But what I would not take away from this is that Nancy Pelosi is a nice lady. I'm saying,
No, I would not. No, I would not.
No, think of how many times you've had a run-in with someone who looks you dead in the eye, completely lying, will be like, but honey, I hope it's she's not Southern, but
But I lived in Los Angeles, so I understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, but even like a Southern charm kind of thing, bless your heart, girl. Oh my God, are you okay? It had that.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of. It's all about civility politics, and it reminds me of mom and dad's generation of kind of our mom would shames people if they don't send a thank you note.
100%.
Our generation is not at all concerned about that. But I feel like with even saying that Nancy Pelosi took the time to say something to these people, it seems like that, she took the time to say thank you. to me, it kind of seems like people who have the time to send out thank you notes, first of all, live a very privileged life.
Yeah.
If you have the time to do that and keep everything in
While
order
you're
and all
grieving.
of that,
While
after you're doing a traumatic experience, that's something. But yeah, and I also do think that, I think Nancy Pelosi is one of the biggest users of this civility politics, identity politics kind of ploy. And she very often, I think in her civility, likes to talk about children and caring about children. And I think when something like this gets brought up, that's fine. People can be nice on an individual level, person to person.
Right.
But you can still make policy choices that are very harmful for a lot of people.
Right. I mean, just because you are nice to someone who you've probably seen their face a couple of times, like you're not, completely foreign to this person, like, probably pass them in the hall or whatever. But Nancy Pelosi has not done a great job for the Democrats. She has
Other people would disagree. She's gotten a lot of things passed, as they would say.
Has she? Okay. She's not been great. I would say that I think that they love to portray Nancy Pelosi as this mama bear figure, this she's the nice lady and she's kind of she's the one who's looking out for everyone, and I feel like
that she's stern.
Yes, yeah. Also that she's stern. Yeah, true. But I mean,
I feel like the wins that they've said about her are that she kind of stood up to Trump. She stood up to McConnell, and we saw them go toe to toe and things like that. But let's not also forget that huge things of Trump's got passed, from the tax to upping Pentagon budget to,
and
a lot of different initiatives got passed for Trump that were not blocked by the Democrats, which she should have led as the House Minority Leader.
Right. And let's not forget that Nancy Pelosi used to talk about Medicare for All and all of these great programs that would actually help people. Years ago, she used to talk about this stuff and she was in the forefront of it. And now she's certainly not pushing anything forward. I mean, she wouldn't allow votes on certain things. I mean, she's just not doing what I think needs to be done. I think they're just trying to portray her as this, like they're, you know what I mean? It's like they're trying to just give her like this like gloss of like she's such a nice lady.
Well, I think what
like,
we're
are the ratings down? I don't know.
I think what we're seeing here, the friction that we're talking about here, is that you're a leftist. You're seeing this from the perspective of a progressive and also somebody who's been a Democrat. And I think also we're working class, so we can tangibly see the fact that, you all watching, we might be working from home and maybe, the $2,000 versus $1,400 wasn't a huge difference, or, when they cut off unemployment, it wasn't a huge difference. But like, we had to move back home with our parents. We're in our parents' house right now.
Hello?
We have college degrees. Look at this set we created behind us.
I mean, yeah.
Like, we know how to do stuff.
We both have college degrees.
But at the end of the day, there were no protections put in place to ensure that, because people had lost their job due to the pandemic, depending on, the sector that you worked in, that you would be made whole. Other countries made sure of that.
Right.
And over again, Nancy Pelosi, I saw her over the course of at least the pandemic rooting for big business, rooting for subsidies for insurance companies, meaning in terms of funding COBRA rather than giving people direct payments.
Right.
I think, there's a lot of just shortcomings.
I think it's odd that if you look at, how politics are portrayed, Pelosi and Mitch McConnell are talked about, in the same kind of level. And if you think about the influence that Mitch McConnell had, think what you want about Mitch McConnell. He's a turtle monster, but he did get things done. So why is Pelosi, but you can't say the same about Pelosi. Like, oh, Pelosi pushed to get these things done. She pushed things through. Like, if she's the leader.
I do see what you're saying. I do see what you're saying, because where you have McConnell saying very defiantly, oh, okay, there's a Democrat in office, you're not going to get anything passed. Right. You on the flip side will have Pelosi, clapping about Donald Trump's speech, ripping it up or whatever, but then also voting for his defense budget.
Right.
You know?
And talking about bipartisanship all the time. Like, everything is like, oh, it's got to be bipartisan.
We're saying we need a strong Republican Party.
She literally
that's
she literally said the GOP, it's a great party. You know, the grand old party. Fine. You don't have to hate anyone. You don't have to be against anyone. That is fine. But you do not have to go on national television and exalt people who are terrible. It's this.
But in the same breath, I asked the question, I thought that they were the greatest threat to our democracy. I thought that if we gave them any more life, that Donald Trump could come back into power. Why are we giving legitimacy then to the Republican Party? Literally what's happening now with the Republican Party, I mean, Steve Bannon totally dominated whatever the plan was there. And, you know, he's been getting his agenda through and pushing through Trump, and he really doesn't care. He's just on the sidelines. Trump also doesn't really care that he's throwing a monkey wrench. He could have gone Democrat, Republican, anything to get money or power.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, now this has created this situation where they have the base that they do have, and they have to serve these people. And I think, like, it's just, you can't ignore that kind of power. And Nancy Pelosi, she's not
wielding it right.
putting the power, she's not bringing the same force on the Democratic side. It seems that she's playing the game, but when it comes to the votes, when it comes to passing things, like Trump's tax cut never should have passed.
Right.
But it did.
Why are we going backwards? Why are you negotiating yourself backwards? This is insanity. I mean.
Yeah, it's hard to like put exactly the nail on that specific thing, but it's like, yes, people can do nice things. Nancy Pelosi might have asked how these people were doing.
In the moment.
But let's look at the macro. Let's look at history. Let's look at what she's done for the working class. And I think, you know, I mean, you can find mass murderers who have done nice things.
Right, exactly. I mean.
Like today, I mean, for January 6th, they were talking about Dick Cheney. I mean, are we really going to talk about Dick Cheney? How many American lives did Dick Cheney cost? There were no weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. We all knew that.
Right.
We knew that.
I mean, but we went to war anyways, and you know.
And he worked for what, Halliburton or Raytheon or something
whichever.
that gained about $20 trillion because
and
of this.
I'm sure they all gained a ton of money based on stocks off of this because they're still doing insider trading. There are just so many more pressing issues that we could be focusing on, and Nancy Pelosi being a nice lady is not.
And let's not get distracted by small PR acts, okay? Because to me, it just seems like a PR act, and like let's put out something that Nancy Pelosi was being nice. I think the nicest thing would be to give the public health care or to
put it to a vote at least.
You know, cancel student debt or there are a lot of things that
raise the
nice.
minimum wage. I mean, there's a million things that she could be fighting for, and she's not.
Yeah. So.
Anyways.
Something to think about. You might disagree with us. Please do in the comments. Once again, I have been Courtney. You can find me at Courtney Banks on Twitter. Be sure to argue with me there. Or the Courtney Banks on Instagram.
And I've been Keisha. You can find me at one of these Keishas on both Twitter and Instagram. I'm not too much on Twitter. That's really Courtney's bag, but I'll try it anyways. Please do check out our YouTube channel. We've got, tons of backlogs of things there. We have a podcast as well. It's called This Is Bullshit.
And if you're into reality TV, we have another one called I Hope They Show Bravo in Hell. Our YouTube channel is The Banks Sisters. So we hope you all enjoy it, and we hope we see you there.
Bye, Jesse.